afternoon. Welcome to Special Report for Wednesday, July the 8th. I'm here with Alex Barr, my co-host.
Hello.
And welcome to the show. Thank you very much to KC Securities for being our title sponsor, both the morning and afternoon edition of Special Report. Now, we got a couple things coming up a little bit later on today. At 2 p.m., we'll be carrying Doug Ford's press conference today. He's going to be there with the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Christine Elliott, like she is normally. Rod Phillips, who's the Minister of Finance, will be there. Steve Clark, who's the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, will be there, along with Pragmeet Sarkaria, who's the Associate Minister of Small Business and Red Tape Reduction, and they have an announcement coming.
What's the rumors today?
The rumors are all about the announcement at 1:40, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, correct. Yes.
So today is not a official budget, which is what they would normally put together, and outlook, but this is the, they're calling it a fiscal snapshot of where the finances are. The reason it's not a budget is because with budgets you give 5-year projections, and right now those 5-year projections are not possible because of COVID-19.
Yeah, it's a bunch of running and screaming with papers and calculators everywhere.
Yeah, drastically changing how things normally operate. So this is just going to be a snapshot of basically how much money has COVID-19 cost, both in lost tax revenue and then also
And
from
things that they have to spend the money on.
that they've spent as well.
Gotcha.
Now the rumor started when this was originally kind of announced. It's going to be like 175, and that's a billion with a B. It popped up to 252 yesterday, and then apparently there was a leak out of Finance Minister Morneau's office today that it will be over 300 billion. So it's going to be a big number. It's going to push our debt over $1 trillion for sure, no matter what the number is. But if you look at other countries and what they've had to spend and what has happened, I mean, we're coming out of this pretty okay. You know, we had a lot of programs in there to help people make their bills that, for example, America didn't do. I mean, America gave a one-time check of $1,200. We've had a program for 6 months where you get $2,000 a month. Plus, if you were unemployed, your unemployment was stopped, so then you can get your unemployment after you go off of the CERB benefit, the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit.
Yes.
So that's also adding on to the number here that will probably be north of 300 billion. But we've also seen the wage subsidy. Like, there's so many different things going on. There's the check going out to seniors, which Terry Sheenan talked about in a press release earlier today. That's going to be going out to them shortly. I mean, there's so many help going everywhere. The GST, HST payments were, I believe, tripled for the one payment there. They give a one-time triple payment of what your normal GST was, and that was near the beginning. You know, that was back in April when they did that. So the government has been putting a lot of money out there to help people pay their bills, and so far it's been going pretty good. Yes, our unemployment rate is at 13.7%. However, when we were going into this, all the economists were expecting at least 18%.
Hey, okay.
And so 13.5 is, you know, pretty good. And compared to the fact that the U.S. could be there with the recent shutdowns and the things that have been going on, particularly over the last 2 weeks in America, when they tried to reopen, it is quite possible within a month American unemployment could be at 20% unemployment, which is huge. As a matter of fact, we've never had a 20% unemployment rate in Canada since we started keeping track. Our actual highest was about 19%. So, but we've only been keeping track for about 40 years, so it doesn't include things like the Depression and things like that back in 1929. But still, in the modern era of Canada, in the last 40 plus years or so that we've been doing this, this is not the worst unemployment that we've had, which is amazing considering what has actually happened in the last 4 months or so here in Canada. But businesses are now opening. They're starting to modify how they do their business. We have a video later in the show from Ernie's Cafe about exactly that. So you'll be able to see what they're doing here locally. So it is possible to reopen moderately and do certain things. And, you know, if things go well, you know, we should be at stage 3. They're hinting like the end of July, maybe early August, but those are just hints. They're not giving anything definitive.
And things could take a turn in the next hour. You just don't know when it comes to a global pandemic.
Yes.
Now, what we do know is our bigger story from earlier today locally, the bomb situation. Now, I'm going to read the official statement from the Sioux Police because I can't be getting this wrong. On July 7th, 2020, officers with the patrol services arrested a 28-year-old man for making or possession of explosives for an unlawful purpose. At 5:54 p.m., officers responded to a call of an unwanted person in the 1000 block of People's Road. Upon arrival, the officers spoke with the accused and offered to give him a ride home. Officers advised the accused that prior to getting into the cruiser, he would need to be searched for the officer's safety. They searched, and they found what appeared to be a homemade explosive device in his pocket, and you can see it there up on the screen. Now, I'll paraphrase a bit. The device was found to contain BBs with a fuse, but it didn't actually contain anything that can explode. So you had 2 parts of a bomb, but you needed the third for it to actually explode. But
he needed an accelerant of some kind, like even gasoline would do it.
Exactly. They say here it didn't contain any commercial grade explosive materials. Now, there's a lot that you can talk about with this story. It started with what seemed like disturbing the peace call. Mm-hmm. Police officers came and they said, all right, we'll give you a ride home, but we'll need to search you. He said, okay, and they searched him and he had a bomb.
I mean, what are the chances of that happening? Like, how unlucky could you be?
Yeah.
Like how many people are walking around with a bomb in their pocket who get offered a ride by the police to take them home?
And how many people get offered a ride home with a bomb in their pocket and say, yes, you can search me?
Yeah, I would have been like, no, it's a nice day. I'm going to enjoy the weather and walk. Like, if I have a bomb in my pocket.
So you've already got an excuse?
Oh, by the way.
You've got an excuse already? I thought you were just happy to see me.
I was just like, I'd do the walk, you know? I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll let you search me. This just seems weird to me. There seems to be, like, there has to be another layer to this.
There probably is another layer to it. This is all that we have gotten.
This is the official statement.
This is the official statement from the police. There may be more to it as it comes out. A name wasn't released for the 28-year-old either.
Which is interesting.
It makes you think.
Because he's not a young offender.
No, he's 28 years old. He's an adult most of the time. You see the names. So there probably is something to this.
Maybe there's a mental health aspect.
Maybe there is. I really want to give the benefit of a doubt to a guy who's not actually trying to blow up people. You don't see this in Sault Ste. Marie. And I know there's a lot of sirens yesterday, and I was hoping that it wasn't for something as crazy as this. But thankfully, no injuries. The guy will be charged with, let me get the 3 charges correct, charged with making or possession of explosives for an unlawful purpose, possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose, and carrying a concealed weapon.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I find it very... The thing that makes me suspicious of this is the fact they didn't release the name.
And that kind of makes me feel like there's probably a mental health aspect of it too. Yeah. Wishing all the best. We don't want to wish ill on anybody regardless. We hope that everybody gets the help they need and when they need it. Yeah. And thank you, Sault Ste. Marie Police, for making sure you guys were safe and the rest of the city was safe. And such a scary... I mean, imagine you're patting a guy down and all of a sudden...
He's got a bomb in his pocket.
Right.
I mean, that's like an episode of NCIS, not...
Yeah, no kidding, where it gets all dramatic and the music comes in, but no, this is a real-life situation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of emergencies, Ontario has just introduced an act called the Reopening Ontario Act. It would be passed on July 24th. Emergency measures have been extended to that point. Basically, the Ford government wants to roll back some of the emergency powers that they have now. Basically, what this act does is, if it goes through, it will allow no creation of new emergency orders. It will only be the ability to amend, extend, or remove existing ones. Okay. So if, for example, there's an outbreak in long-term care, they'd be able to roll back, like, for example, going to visit and things like that. They'll still be able to do that, but they won't be able to create any new emergency orders.
Or, like you say, extend the ones that are already in place. So if they feel like the July or the August cutoff ain't long enough, well, guess what? They got that power now. And I honestly don't have any complaints with any of that. It's good that they
it makes sense. I mean, like, we had 112 cases yesterday. The case count came out today. I believe it was 118. It flashed up on my phone, something like that. So, I mean, our case count's super low now.
Ontario's doing a really good job. You gotta pat Doug Ford on the back for making sure everything is going. He's taking it nice and slow too, which is seemingly working.
And like places like Walmart are allowing more people in now. Pino's is allowing more in. So you can have more people per square foot now.
Right.
We've seen no new cases in all of Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma for over 2 weeks now.
That's crazy.
I mean, we've actually had no positive cases for over 2 weeks, never mind a new case. So,
and I believe I've said this before too, that not a single case of COVID-19 in Sault Ste. Marie has resulted in hospitalization.
Yes, not one.
So if you are worried about the hospital at this time. Like
Don't
you,
be.
you could be.
Yeah.
You should be cautious, but you don't really have to fear for it if you break a finger or whatever.
And you're going to be tested before you go in. You can't go in any door
Exactly.
where there isn't someone with a thermometer and that is checking to see if you have any COVID-19 symptoms. And so now we're actually going to go over for a quick weather tease from Daniel before we hit a break. Good afternoon, Daniel. How's it going?
Chris, yes, it is a scorching hot day today, and as you can see on the live view of our waterfront, which is sponsored by wirelesscom.ca, thank you very much for your sponsorship of that. It is going to be a gorgeous, hot and humid day. It's going to be very sticky. However, we are tracking a low pressure system in the south of the Great Lakes, the lower Great Lakes, that may bring some showers and some rain over the next few hours, maybe in the evening, but I will have your full 3-day weather forecast as well as your current regional temperatures right after the break.
Did you know that 1 in 3 people are affected by fire in their lifetime? Or that 1 in 3 fire deaths happen in homes with no working smoke alarms? You may have just seconds to safely escape a fire in your home. That's why early detection of fire is absolutely vital. Only working smoke alarms provide those precious seconds you and your family need to safely escape. Install smoke alarms on every story and outside all sleeping areas of your home. For added protection, install a smoke alarm in every bedroom. Test smoke alarms monthly by pressing the test button. If the alarm doesn't sound, install a new battery. Replace alarm batteries at least once a year and whenever the low battery warning chirps. And if the alarm still doesn't sound, replace the alarm with a new one. Smoke alarms have an expiry date. Remember to check the back of the smoke alarm for dates of manufacture. Replacement is within the time frame on the manufacturer's instructions. In most cases, 7 to 10 years. Always replace expired alarms. Remember, it's the law in Ontario to have working smoke alarms on every story of your home and outside all sleeping areas. Failure to comply with the Ontario Fire Code requirements could result in a fine or even jail time. So protect yourself and your loved ones by ensuring that all your smoke alarms are functional and up to code. For more fire safety information, please visit www.saultestmarie.ca/firesafe.
And welcome back to Special Report Afternoon Edition with myself, Chris Olcorn, and my co-host, Alex Parr. We'd like to thank KC Securities very much for sponsoring both the morning and afternoon edition of Special Report. Thank you very much to them. And now we're going to go and see our 3-day forecast. What's going on, Dan?
Thank you very much, Chris and Alex, and good afternoon, Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Hope you are enjoying this hot and humid Wednesday afternoon. It is a great day to be out in the sun, but there is that chance that we may get some showers maybe later on in the evening. So bring your umbrella just in case. Make sure you have your sunscreen, the usual things. We're going to get into a current look at your Northern Ontario regional temperatures, which are behind me here. And currently in Thunder Bay, it is 24 degrees. Wawa, you're looking at 26 degrees. Here in Sault Ste. Marie right now, it is 29 Celsius. Elliott Lake and Sudbury are at 31 degrees respectively. They are also under a heat warning in Elliott Lake and Sudbury, so keep that in mind. 29 degrees in Timmins. Very warm throughout our whole region, and the majority of the area is seeing sun, although there is those chances of showers in some regions. So I'm going to get into your 3-day forecast now. So looking at Thursday, it's going to be a high of 32, and we have that humidex looking at potentially 40 to 42 degrees. That is going to be very wet and sticky. Then there is also that chance, about a 30% chance right now, of showers and thunderstorm potentially during the day. UV index is 9 or very high, and we're going to get down to a low of 20 with a 30% chance of showers. Friday, we're looking at a high of 25 degrees. Again, there is that slight chance of showers as the system from the lower Great Lakes that we are tracking may go the other way, it may miss us, so we'll have to just wait and see what happens on Friday. Low of 17 on Friday night. Saturday, 23 degrees and mainly sunny. You're going to see it's going to kind of cool down a little bit, but not too bad. And then the evening will cool down, and overnight it's going to get down to 13 degrees. So we are going to get some relief from that heat for a couple days, but then I'm going to have your 7-day forecast coming up later on in the show, and you're going to see that it's going to warm right back up again. Back over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for that 3-day forecast, and he'll be back later in the news with your 7-day forecast. Okay, a while ago we told you about my normal co-host, Colette Linden. She suffered a burn in her house and is presently in the hospital. She's supposed to have surgery later this week, and she's been off work for quite some time and will be even 8 to 10 weeks after the surgery. We have now raised over $11,000, which is absolutely amazing. $11,315, and that is fantastic. So thank you to everyone who has donated. If you haven't and would still like to contribute, please do so. You can go to our Facebook page, and at the top there is an actual link through to the GoFundMe page, plus also an explanation of what had happened as well. So thank you to everyone who's donated. If anyone else would like to contribute, that would be greatly appreciated, because she has many more expenses than she would normally have because of this. Okay, speaking of
Let's see how you segue
healthcare.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Speaking of healthcare, that works.
Long-term care homes. Apparently, air conditioning is not required. So the Ford government is going to be putting in, or considering a law requiring all long-term care homes to have air conditioning going forward.
Good.
This is a good idea. One of the reasons is they use cooling stations where they put you all in the same room and then have a bunch of fans going.
Oh, I guess you can't be doing that right now.
Which is not a smart idea at all during COVID-19 to have 10 fans in a room with 10 people. It's one thing if you have a fan in your own room with the door closed. It's a different thing when you're sitting 6 feet apart from others, but then there's a fan blowing the air around. So this is I think this is a fantastic idea. I talk a little bit more about it on my show tonight at 7 p.m. where I go a little bit more in depth. But I think Doug Ford said it best. I'd like to stick them in a room for 24 hours at 30-degree heat, see how they'd like it, or put their parents in there, to the owners of those long-term care homes.
Love it.
Alrighty, we're going to a break. We'll be right back.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
And welcome back to Special Report Afternoon Edition. We'd like to thank KC Securities for being our title sponsor. We got some Facebook shoutouts now. So hi to Aneki and also hi to Tammy Lynn. And we also have a video. What's it on?
So with COVID-19, this is a unique situation. So John Armstrong, he goes away to Toronto. He's a local boy, goes away to Toronto. He is destined to own his own restaurant. So he comes back, 6 years of schooling, and goes, you know what, I'm going to buy Ernie's. 6 weeks into operation, global pandemic, shuts down. But now the city gave him his permit. He's working his way slowly back into getting into full operation. But on TV's Danielle Dupuis was on the scene to talk with John to find out a little bit more. And we got a clip to show you right now.
You're set to open up on Friday. How do you anticipate your second reopen's going to go?
Anticipation for the second reopening. Well, it truly is like opening a restaurant for the second time in a row. As you can imagine, reopening the first time was stressful enough and exciting. Second time, round two, here we go. Bottom up. This time, since it's summer, I want to take full advantage of, what's grown locally, what's produced locally, whether it be honey, vegetables, proteins, eggs, beef, pork, poultry. So right now I'm just in the scramble of tracking down, finding who's got what, and just trying to, push that support towards one another, which is reciprocated well around because, I've had so many other business owners on Queen Street or in the area, reaching out and asking, can we help in any way? Let us know as soon as you're open. We'd love to come out and support, which is really nice. It's a real sense of community, which is hard to come by, and that's why I think what brought me back to Sault Ste. Marie for the most part, you're not just a number. It's not just a big city. Everyone knows everyone, which is, it's a beautiful thing.
Want me to take it back? We'll take it back. Welcome back. That was a quick video done by Danielle Dupuis with a little bit of help from Aaron Allison Dream. Thank you guys so much for that. Now, honestly, this story has to be one of the most infuriating things that we talked about. Bubba Wallace. It's just a ping pong match at this point where Bubba goes, I want to spread love. And then someone else goes, screw your love. Boom, back. But this time, the guy returning it is Donald Trump, who just can't seem to keep his mouth shut about things that don't involve him. The thing that I love about sports is politics. Oh, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. So, Chris, you talked a little bit about the show, so I'll let you brief on the viewers about what to expect tonight from the Christopher Oldcorn show.
Yeah, I did my whole show basically on this tonight and air conditioning for long-term care homes. Okay, Trump has come out, tweeted out that basically he supports the Confederate flag being at NASCAR events and that it shouldn't be taken away. And he also called Bubba Wallace's thing a complete hoax and that Bubba Wallace should apologize. Here's the thing. Bubba Wallace wasn't the one that discovered the news. His team did before he was even at the track. NASCAR was the one who contacted the FBI and started a hate crime investigation. This had nothing to do with Bubba Wallace other than it happened to be his stall at the actual race. He wasn't the one who reported it. As a matter of fact, he only saw pictures of it.
Exactly.
He never actually saw it in person and had been there since the previous October. This was not a hoax that this Bubba Wallace and his team decided to do. On top of it, the press secretary from the White House, she's a real treat, and she went on Fox News and compared it to Jussie Smollett, who faked a hate crime in Chicago last year, the actor who was trying to get a better deal for him on his show, and compared it to that. And this is totally different. Bubba Wallace did not pay someone last October, which is where they have like documented photos from like an event last October, where that what looked like a noose was already there.
Oh, it wasn't noose. It was fashion.
It looked like a noose, but apparently it was used to actually pull down the door of the garage. Now, normally they're not a handle; they're normally like a knob on the end, and then you pull it down.
Yeah.
Someone made it the way that looked like a noose.
They had to have done it purposely.
But Bubba had nothing to do with it. So anyways, if you want to see the full thing on that about when I go into it tonight, I'll see you at 7 p.m. for that.
Infuriating stuff.
And yeah, we're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
What's life without making a few mistakes down the road? A few sharp turns. And doing things for what we adore, but might regret later. A trip to Chuck's Roadhouse isn't one of them. With melt-in-your-mouth AAA steaks, buttery lobster tail, half-priced apps after 9 p.m., an ice-cold draft with all your Roadhouse favorites. Chuck's Roadhouse. Food the way it ought to be, priced the way it used to.
And welcome back to Special Report Afternoon Edition. Thank you to KC Securities for sponsoring us. And now we're going to look at the 7-day forecast. What's going to happen over the next 7 days there, Daniel?
Thank you very much, Chris. Yes, you're going to see on your screen right now a live view of the system that we are tracking to the lower Great Lakes. May bring some thunder showers and showers later this afternoon and evening. If it comes to our area, it may miss us, so we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see, but just keep that in mind when you're out, have your umbrella. I'm going to get into your 7-day forecast now. 32 degrees looking for Thursday with that humidex factor of 40 to 42, as mentioned earlier. Very hot and sticky. Low of 20 degrees. You're not going to get much relief on Thursday night from that humidity. Friday, 25 degrees. That chance of thunder showers and showers still lingers from the system that's around us, and it will be a high of 25 with a low of 17 overnight. Saturday and Sunday, highs of 23 and mainly sunny. We're going to see that relief from the humidity for a couple days. Your lows are going to get down to 13 and 14 overnight. But that heat comes back on Monday for your work week. 28 degrees, low of 16. And then on Tuesday, 31 and a low of 18. And on Wednesday, 29 degrees and 17. And these are all sunny days. High pressure will be back. And you're going to have another good start to your work week and very hot. So I'm going to send it back over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for the 7-day forecast. At least we got some sun in the future there.
At least
so
the weekend isn't 40 degrees and it's actually like livable temperatures.
Yeah, you want your golfing temperature, don't you?
I just want to go outside and not walk into a wall of heat that is
But that's the fun part.
People that live in Florida, am I right? Come on.
Okay, Ontario government is changing two other things as well. Both these practices disproportionately affect black students as well as other people of color. They are ending academic streaming, which is what you have to pick in grade 9, and they're also going to be eliminating suspensions for younger students as well. So anyways, right now when you're in grade 9, for every course you either have to pick applied or academic.
Yes.
Academic meaning you want to go to university or college, and applied is the stream where you might go to college or you're just trying to get through high school. You might go through to a trade with applied. Not to say you can't go to a trade with academic as well, but you have to make this decision in grade 9. And this has been shown to disproportionately affect both black and other people of low incomes households when it comes to their graduation rates and also their chance of going to a post-secondary institution.
Interesting.
Education Minister Stephen Lecce has called the streaming a systematic, racist, and discriminatory practice that is going to finish. Now, compared to the rest of Canada, Ontario is actually one of only a few places in Canada that still does this separation in grade 9 into two different academic tracks for the rest of your high school experience. The Toronto School Board is phasing out grade 9 and 10 streaming already. And the other thing they're going to change is suspensions. Right now, you can actually be suspended in junior kindergarten. They're going to stop that.
Yeah, I was a bad
I think
boy.
suspending 4-year-olds is a bit too much. So they're eliminating suspensions from junior kindergarten to grade 3. And actually, some people have actually been suspended in a couple school boards, Peel specifically, for wearing a hoodie and also hoop earrings. So they're going to stop that practice and they're going to change the suspension rules. And we'll see you at 5 o'clock for the evening news with Alex, and watch my show tonight at 7 p.m. See you tomorrow.
Good night, guys.